Okay, this is a flip video lesson for 5.03, Age of Innovation. This goes along with your Human Odyssey reading pages 559 to 571 and your student guide pages 351 to 353. Lesson Introduction, Age of Innovation. Can you imagine life without electricity or cars? How would our daily routine change if we did not have them? Many of the conveniences we enjoy today have their roots in the innovative work of people in the late 19th century. The wars to unify Italy, Germany, and the United States had ended, and people were looking forward to the future. They wanted to rebuild their countries and enjoy peace and prosperity. Henry Bessemer and Charles William Siemens made breakthroughs that made it possible to make large quantities of steel cheaply. Cheap steel triggered a second industrial revolution. It changed the way people built everything, from buildings to motors, and transformed our way of life. Learning objectives for this lesson. Many of these objectives are covered in detail in the readings from your Human Odyssey book, pages 559 to 571. Describe advances in fuels in the late 1800s. Describe the evolution of the bicycle into the automobile. Explain how steel led to a second industrial revolution. Identify Alexander Graham Bell and his accomplishments. Identify Andrew Carnegie and his accomplishments. Identify Guglielmo Marconi and his accomplishments. Identify Thomas Edison and his accomplishments. This flip video lesson is going to be a little different format. You'll have a chart in your book to fill out and then just a few questions. So please start on page 351. You'll see a chart in there with different innovators. Please fill in each box as we go through the slides. Remember, you can always pause the video or you can look at the flip video slides on their own. So the innovator was Henry Bessemer. The place he is most recognized is England. Innovation, a special furnace that could turn iron into steel. The purpose was to produce steel more cheaply. And the impact he had was that he sparked a second industrial revolution based on steel. Charles William Siemens. His innovation was that he made a process for making steel in a gas furnace. The purpose was to produce steel in large quantities, and the impact he had was that steel was used to build railroads, tall buildings, and powerful machines. Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was born in Scotland, but he lived in the United States. The innovation that he is known most for is that he bought iron ore deposits, steel mills, and railroads and ships to transport the materials. The purpose was to make and sell lots of steel easily. And the impact he had was by producing so much steel so efficiently, he helped the United States become an important economic power. And again, remember, you can always pause this video to fill in the chart on your own. Samuel Morse. Samuel Morse, from the United States, he invented the telegraph, and the purpose was to use electricity to send messages over vast distances quickly. He had a great impact. By the 1870s, there were telegraph offices all across the United States. Alexander Graham Bell. He was born in Scotland, but he lived in the United States. His innovations are wide and vast. He and Thomas Watson invented the telephone. Bell and his father-in-law, Gardner Hubbard, started the Bell Telephone Company. His other inventions included a device to remove the outer husk of grains of wheat, methods to record sounds, a method to detect icebergs with echoes, and a method to take water out of vapor. The purpose of the phone was to communicate quickly over long distances. And then the impact was by the 1890s, phone service existed in the United States and Europe. Thomas Edison, again, a vast amount of inventions that he is known for. More than 1,000 inventions, including the electric voting machine, improved the stock ticker, the invention factory, which was also known as the Research and Development Lab, and the light bulb. The electric company, a phonograph to record and generate sound, one of the very first movie cameras. So again, he was known for many, many inventions. The purpose, although Edison is most famous for inventing the light bulb, he was constantly striving to fix or improve something. In his impact, his invention factory established the concept of research and development labs, which many corporations use to develop new products. There are electric companies all over the world, and people use electricity to light their homes and run their businesses, listen to music, and watch movies. Jean Lemoire. Jean Lemoire was from Belgium. His innovation was the internal combustion engine. His purpose was he wanted to find an alternative to the steam engine that would be easier and more practical to use. The impact was the development of the internal combustion engine meant that engines did not need to be near a constant water supply of water and coal or wood to burn. It led to the development of automobiles and many other machines. So again, you can see the progression. These inventions were built upon almost like addition and subtraction. Once you learn addition and subtraction, you can do multiplication and division, then you can move into algebra. So all of these inventions were building blocks into what we have today. Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach. Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach were of origins that were Germany. Their innovations were they invented the motorcycle by mounting a small, safe internal combustion engine on a bicycle, and they made a gas-powered four-wheeled vehicle. The purpose was to use the internal combustion engine to create more efficient vehicles. And the impact, the creation of the motorcycle and one of the very first automobiles revolutionized transportation and changed society. Carl Benz. Carl Benz, again from Germany, made a gas-powered three-wheeled vehicle with steering wheel and brakes, used the internal combustion engine to create more efficient vehicles, and some people consider Benz's vehicle the first automobile. The automobile changed society. So again, remembering when all these inventions were being made, some overlapped, and so the claim to fame for the first being made sometimes is smeared depending on which outlet you look at. Guglielmo Marconi. Guglielmo Marconi was born in Italy, lived in England, invented the wireless telegraph and aerial radio antenna. The purpose was to send messages anywhere, even to or from moving ships. And the impact was that messages could be transmitted over very long distances. Other scientists found out how to send music and voices through radios. So this starts on page 353 in your student guide. Number 1. Steel sparks a second industrial revolution. Iron is strong, but it is hard to shape and can crack relatively easily. Steel is lighter, stronger, and more flexible. When Henry Bessemer and Charles William Siemens figured out ways steel could be produced cheaply in large quantities, they sparked the second industrial revolution. Manufacturers built bigger factories with more powerful machines that could make more goods. Builders could erect taller buildings, and railroad workers could build better tracks. Numbers 2 and 3. People looking for new fuels to run their factories and heat their homes saw promise in petroleum, a liquid mineral found beneath the ground. Petroleum was superior to coal and wood because it could be processed into gasoline and kerosene. Gasoline and kerosene were easier to transport and burned more easily. And questions number 4 and 5. Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison called his research and development lab the invention with a V factory. In your opinion, which innovators or innovations contributed most to the industrial development of the late 19th century? So be able to make sure you can support your answer with ideas and facts, and we will discuss that later in class. Thank you so much for joining me today for this split video lesson. Thomas Edison, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Have a great day.